Hey, look out. It's Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
Dr. David Delk with us. There he is. Ladies and gentlemen, the king. Hey, by the way, today only, Dr. David Delk's votive candles are on sale.
Oh, really?
So we'll give you a link on how you can get yours. When you're celebrating the one you love, get a Dr. David Delk candle.
What is the
Bath
scent?
and Beyond.
What is the scent, David? What would that scent be for you?
ZZ Top, Sharp Dressed Man.
I guess that would smell okay. Maybe as long as he's not sweaty.
As long as it's not a 2-hour concert, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
So why is it that it says if you're watching Facebook Live and YouTube Live, it says David Delk, which it said doctor earlier. Now it says David Delk, Heather Poe. What's the deal?
It's because Heather sabotaged my computer for me.
See, Heather's been known to do that. You got to watch out for her.
Yeah, let me see if I can fix that.
Oh, that's all right. We'll just call you Heather. How about that?
All right, yeah, great. That'll be wonderful.
Hey, we love talking to David. It's been a while since we've talked to David, but we want to talk all things FCA and God's Warriors. I always see posts on Facebook where you guys have showed up and ripped a few phone books in half, and then and
a few students in half too sometimes.
Yeah, and then the bottom line, them coming forward and accepting Christ, and that is, I got to tell you, I love getting those posts. I love that you post those, and I guess camp is coming up too. I guess this summer. Are you doing camps again or what?
Yeah, we're requesting that camps be all between 80 and 85 degrees this year.
Who are you putting that request into is the question.
Summer camps in West Georgia can be brutally hot.
I'm sure. Yeah.
It is hotter over there. I used to live in Coweta County. Anytime we went over to West Georgia, it was like, there's something about it. There's just hot over there.
Yes, very hot. But God's Warriors has been very busy this year. We've now that the COVID thing is over, we're probably somewhere around 32 or 33 schools right now this year so far.
Wow. That's amazing. So what kind of stories have you seen in talking to kids and getting up performing for kids? What have you seen? Well,
the cool thing is the ministry has been reaching, I don't know, probably 5,000 to 7,000 kids so far this year. It's hard to keep up with it because there's been so many of them, but just the number of salvations, the stories of, that the kids share with us, when they have been locked out of, school and everything for, a couple of years now. Mm-hmm. So it's been quite fascinating to re-engage with students and coaches and teachers this year.
Now, do you have the same guys with you? Do you have some newbies? What's going on as far as your?
We got some newbies. We've got 3 veterans who have served a total of 72 years of service in the military.
Wow!
Which is quite fascinating to hear their stories, and now they're fighting a different battle right now. They're, fighting a spiritual battle for the lives of the kids. Mm-hmm. And those kids love hearing the stories from these young men who have served our country for so many years and faithfully.
Mm. David, you've been doing this for a while, and I mean, you could probably do it in your sleep, but I know you've just seen God move in so many different ways. How has your approach maybe? I know it's the same message, but how has your approach changed over the years? Has it?
Well, I would say 26 years of ministry, we've been pretty consistent about, the gospel and how we present it. The team is always revamping itself through the years, but I'd say the platform has been pretty consistent. The presentation, the way that we do our feats of strength, the testimonies. We've got a 30 to 45 minute window most of the time, so we try to get the most in and really engage the kids while we're there with not only us doing feats of strength, but also the students doing feats of strength as well. As sometimes they'll come up in groups of 4 or 6 or whatever and do the same amount of weight that one of our guys does.
Wow. All right. So just not to switch gears on you, but David, I know you're a grandfather. How many grandkids you got now?
We have 4 grandchildren. We have 2 biological and 2 foster. One was a foster to adopt, and then one was a straight out adoption.
Wow.
And the oldest one is 12. I think he's 12 years old now. So that's how long ago Heather and Daniel went to Tampa, Florida to pick up their first adoption.
My gracious.
All right. So I'm going to be a grandfather come August. What kind of grandfatherly advice do you have for me, David?
Load your pantry up with cookies and candy. And make that sets the trend, because anytime they think of what's going to be your name?
I think it's going to be Appa.
Appa?
Appa, yeah.
Appa. Is that like Fred Flintstone?
No, it's from another the Avatar the Airbender series, and we just kind of like the name. So yeah.
Okay, so anytime your grandchild thinks of Appa, he's going to think that I'm going to get candy and cookies when I go over to see Appa.
Exactly, and that's what I want, is to spoil them to death.
So load up always. Never run dry of Oreos, Chips Ahoy, and ice cream cones too.
Yeah, you got to have plenty of that for sure. All right.
So Dan's got a name. What do they call you, Doc? What do the kids call you?
They call me Peepaw.
Peepaw. Okay.
All right. What about Trisha now?
She's Gigi.
Gigi. Okay.
That sounds very fashionable. So that suits her very well.
Don't mess with Gigi and her grandkids.
Now, does Gigi or Peepaw ever say no?
No. No.
That's what parents are for. They have to
That's
say
right. My girls have heard no all their life. I got tired of saying that, so now it's time to say yes.
Now, do they come to you and say, "Where were you when we were growing up? Where was this nice, sweet man?"
Yeah, and I say, well, he wore off a long time ago. Y'all wore him down to a nub.
Okay.
Now, see, that happens to me because my oldest is so much older than my youngest, and they see how we treat the youngest. And he goes, "Hey, you didn't do that when I was at home. Why'd you?" I said, you wore me out. I don't even say, they don't listen to no anyway.
Hey, well, let me do a little segue here. You know, we haven't talked since the Atlanta Braves won the World Series.
That's right.
The Georgia Bulldogs won the national championship.
Yes, they did.
So I wish Dutch Nelson could be on here right now. I would be wearing him out.
I'm sure he's probably used to that, right?
Well, he's used to it this year.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So what was the first thing you said to him after both occurrences?
Well, you know, the Atlanta Braves, we were probably pulling for the same team, but after the Dogs beat the Tide in that national championship game, I had a lot to say day after day after day after day.
I'm sure you did.
Because, you know, he was very obnoxious for a very long time.
Well, as those Alabama fans can be. Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah.
So, Dutch, we love you, man. Go Dogs.
So is after he lets you say what you say, is his next response, "There's always next year"?
Yeah.
Yeah, his next response is how many years the Crimson Tide have won the national championship and the Dogs have lost. So that's all right. It's time to start a new trend.
There you go. All right, so now back to the Braves. What do you think of the chances this year? I mean, we lost Freddie, obviously, but there's still some exciting things going on. What do you think about this year, Dave?
Well, I think I hated to lose Freddie. Everybody loves Freddie.
Yeah.
Freddie probably could have stayed, for a few million less, but he would never have known about it. But I hated to see him go, and I wish he would have stayed. But I think we got a good player in lieu of Freddie, and I think the Braves, when they, get in a groove, they could be another dangerous team. Mm-hmm. So I feel good about them. Sometimes it just takes a little bit to warm things up and work together as a team.
Yeah.
You know all about that, don't you? Getting your folks together and working as a team. Maybe what would help the Braves is, sometimes you can show up at a game and the first 5,000 people get, a shirt or a hat or, a waving towel or whatever. How about a Dr. David Delk votive candle for about the first 5,000 people? The Braves would love that.
I'd show up for that.
Would you show up for that?
I would.
Yeah,
For a
absolutely.
David Delk votive candle, sure.
Yes, sir.
Well, we probably need to get with the organization and see if we can get some candles made for that. But it needs to be Faith Talk Live and Dr. Delk.
See, now that would be a sellout crowd right there.
Because you guys made me what I am today.
That's right.
I don't know if that's good or bad,
thing.
but y'all are responsible for this.
So
we are responsible.
David, let me get serious again for a minute. When you're up there talking to the kids, when you guys are there with God's Warriors, I mean, you're looking at a group of kids that are going to shape the future of our country, and that could be a scary thing, and it could be a hopeful thing. What do you guys try to pour into them to help them to go in the right direction?
Well, I think, two things, two words that come to mind when I think about our kids and our future and their future. One is called stewardship.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to pass something off to our kids, and that's the country that we live in. And I think, when we look at the element of faith in our country, we look at the relationship that we have with Christ and how we're modeling it these days. We need to make sure that our kids understand that this relationship with Christ is first and foremost, and that unless we lead the way in faith, and we especially as men of God, lead the way in faith, then our boys are going to be very, very confused, and they're not going to grab hold of it. And so stewardship to me is, all about what we're doing with our when I brought my two girls into the world, I was responsible for what I taught them. I was responsible for how I led them, and we're responsible for how we lead and develop our young men of tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we're also, when I think of the word inheritance, we spend a lot of time in the Delk house on how we're going to leave everything that we've accumulated over the years to our girls. And, so you have to spend a lot of time with lawyers and everything else to make sure you pass this stuff off correctly. And so our girls are going to inherit, whatever the Delk, tribe leaves to them, but also our today's youth, they're going to inherit something from us.
Mm-hmm.
And what are they going to inherit? So we got to make sure that we leave them with success, especially in the area of faith. To me, that's so much and so important of how we do that.
Mm-hmm.
So stewardship and inheritance is a big thing for me.
Always love talking to Dr. David Delk. David Delk, he is the founder of God's Warriors, and we'll ask you in a little bit when what's up for the God's Warriors up into Duke. You obviously stop during the summer and pick it up in the fall. So do you have any more? Do you have any more coming up, or are you done for the season?
No, we've got probably about 3 or 4 more shows between now and the end of the school year. So one will be in Woodland Middle School out in Bartow County. Then we have one coming up next week in Douglas County, and then a couple more in between that. So we've got some good stuff. I think, we'll probably finish the school year with 40 schools.
My gracious.
That's awesome. Good
Have you ever seen, I know you've done this for years, and you said 26. So the students that you've done this, let's say the first season, well, they've gone on to have kids. Have you ever showed up at a school and had a child of somebody maybe that was in another presentation, or maybe came forward, or I don't know if a grandchild could, but have you ever seen that at all?
All the time. In fact, the cool thing about some of the places we've been, if we started this, we started this thing 26 years ago. So sometimes we'll go to a school and a teacher will come up and say, "Hey, you came to my school when I was a student.
Wow.
Now they're a teacher." And I think one time we even had somebody that was a principal who had seen us when they were a child or a young student.
Wow. And you say, "Man, I feel old," right?
I feel old, but it's very, very, very rewarding because they remember, the things. In fact, I've got a young man right now that I'm working with who is helping me on my next adventure in life. And he was saved at a God's Warriors show at a middle school that we were at years ago. And now he's helping me with, something else that I'm doing right now.
That's awesome. Very
cool. It is.
Yeah, his name is Cooper Guyan. And Cooper, he called me whenever I was interviewing him. He said, David, you came to my school about, 6 or 7 years ago. I gave my life to the Lord, and now we're talking on the phone,
awesome.
As we were having that conversation that day.
Wow.
How cool is that? When David stands before Jesus, my gracious, the award ceremony is going to be so long, and they'll just say, "Okay, everybody else just sit down."
I don't know about all that. We all have a part to play in it. You guys have inspired my next move with candles, and so we're moving forward in the scent company.
All right.
There you go. Dr. David Delk. Go ahead, Dan.
I was gonna say, Dave, I follow you on Facebook and Instagram, and saw that you had a picture taken recently with the Herschel Walker. How was it meeting old Herschel?
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I got to see Herschel over the weekend. Herschel's running for political office, and so I've gotten really engaged in the political affairs of our county. And Herschel just happened to be around pretty close for an event that was going on, and I got to go in and see him. And I tell you what, the old boy is still in shape, and he could run the football, but he is one of the most engaging, polite people that I have seen in especially in the political arena. He's just a down-to-earth guy.
Do you think, because some former athletes who run for office, you might think, well, they're just doing it on their name. Does he know what he's doing? Is he ready for this?
I think he knows what he's doing. Herschel has been a winner in just about everything he's ever attempted in life.
Yeah.
And when you hear his story and realize, this man has overcome a lot of things in life to be where he's at today. He's never failed at what he attempted. And so I think he's going to be a winner in this as well.
And did you challenge him to a race? Did you say, let's go out
No, I knew I would lose that. So we did an arm wrestling competition.
Did you? And you beat him on that, of course.
We're not going to talk about that.
Okay, I got you.
Well, when football season is here, I always listen to on the radio because I enjoy the commentary, and I enjoy the game, of course, of the Dogs, whoever they're playing. And I heard a stat years ago, and I'm trying to remember the number of how many push-ups. I think it was 2,000 Herschel did every single day. What? Not just a couple days a week, but every day did like 2,000. And I think with that, he did about the same amount, maybe a little less sit-ups.
Wow.
They said, and we know because we have seen him in his prime when he was playing and stuff, but he was just one big muscle.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I remember, hearing something similar to that he didn't go into the weight room and train with weights. He did however many thousands of sit-ups and thousands of push-ups every day. And that was the way he kept fit.
Yeah. Wow.
I remember he did a talk show one time with Lou Ferrigno, and he was sharing what he did, and Lou just kind of smirked at him. But I think Herschel outlasted Lou.
Very true. Yeah.
That is so cool. Dr. David Delk with us, FCA and God's Warriors. We got a couple of minutes. What else is coming up for you? What's going on with FCA and everything else?
Well, we are going to probably have a couple 7 or 8 weeks of school left. Then we'll start our summer camp series. And, FCA in Cobb County is going strong. Got Mike Leeser and Minda Seagraves heading the ministry up here in Cobb County. We'll be headed out to West Georgia to do football camps, headed to St. Simon's to do coaches and leadership camp. So there's a lot going on, and hopefully God's Warriors will, finish the year out strong as well, and give everybody about a 2-month break to rest on the team, and go back at it again in late August or early September.
So, David, if folks are interested in signing up for the camps for FCA and for signing up to get God's Warriors to come to their event or school, how do they do that?
Well, they can get in touch with me at ddelk@fca.org, and we can push them in the right direction. And we can also reach out to Trisha Delk, my wife, at tdelk@fca.org.
But she doesn't have Gigi@fca.org. She doesn't have that one?
Gigi@fca.org got shot down.
Oh, okay. All
by
right.
the organization.
Now,
Kind of like, what's your name? Peepaw or Popo?
Yeah, Appa, yeah.
Appa. All right. I think Appa at Faith Talk Live might get shot down too.
Yeah, you're probably right.
votive candles, Dr. David Delk, votive.com to get yours. Today.
Can we exit the show with ZZ Top?
I'll have to put that in later in post-production, but yes, we definitely can do that for sure.
Hey, David, always good. Let's not make it so long, huh? We know you're busy, but we love spending time with you, and we love what you do. You've always been, you're a pastor to so many people. We appreciate what you do and your calling. Thank you for doing it well. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.